It's Tuesday, the 3rd of May 2022. Welcome to the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Amyler.
Good morning, Michael.
All right, Sean, we have just slightly under 5 minutes now to get through 5 stories, and the first one is a big one, and it's all about one of my favourite companies to talk about, Qantas. The airline has bounced back, Sean, saying it will be profitable from next year, ordering 12 new aircraft, making the non-stop Sydney-London route a possibility in the next few years.
Yes, it sure was a pretty good day for the Flying Kangaroo. A flood of post-COVID passengers taking holidays has boosted cash flows significantly and allowed Qantas to pay down debt from a peak of $6.4 billion to about $4.5 billion now. Next financial year, the Flying Kangaroo will be profitable again for the full year. How did it do it? Well, it took out big loans. It took about $855 million in JobKeeper payments. There was some pretty ferocious management of costs, and it also had patient shareholders. They got a pretty good reward yesterday, with Qantas' share price jumping nearly 3% on a very poor day for the market. The big news, though, Michael, the stuff you're excited about, is that CEO Alan Joyce said that by 2025, the company would be flying Sydney-London and Sydney-New York non-stop in 12 new Airbus A350 jets. Qantas is also ordering 40 Airbus planes to renew its domestic fleet. All in all, quite the day for Qantas.
Yeah, it sure was. And speaking of big days, Sean, we're on to story number 2 here, and it's a big day in the world of economics. I don't know if it's going too far to say it's a blockbuster, but I'm going to say it. The Reserve Bank board meeting today could well be a blockbuster meeting because it's tipped to lift interest rates for the first time in more than a decade.
That's right, though it's not a sure bet. Everyone and their dog seems to be out there commenting at the moment. Former Reserve Bank board member Warwick McKibben yesterday said the central bank should lift the cash rate by 0.5%. Former Reserve Bank Governor Ian Macfarlane said something needs to be done to lower house prices to help younger Australians get into the market. Now, look, the consensus view is that the board of the Reserve Bank will lift rates by 15 basis points today. There's some good market watchers out there, including former central bankers, who think it will wait until June. We'll find out at 2:30.
Yeah, we sure will. And story number 3, Sean, is linked to that one because if there is a rise today, it's not great timing for the federal government, which goes to the polls in less than 3 weeks.
True, but yesterday Prime Minister Scott Morrison said that a hike today wouldn't hurt his chances because Australians understand the global inflationary drivers putting pressure on rates. I'm not sure I even understand that sentence, so I'm not sure the populace understand what he's saying. Look, Mr Morrison was on the hustings, pledging to extend the access of the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card soon after Labor said it would do the same thing. On the Labor side, Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk was out doing some of the heavy lifting. Anthony Albanese told a Labor Day rally that he'll negotiate with state premiers on public hospital funding, though he didn't quite commit to higher funding for the sector.
Okay. Story number 4, Sean, another one of my favourite topics, house prices. And CoreLogic released its house price data for April yesterday, and the annual pace of growth has slowed to 14.6%.
Still not bad. It means a $1 million home bought 12 months ago on average is now worth $1,146,000. If you got that return in the equity market, you'd be pretty happy. The data shows that the Australian capital city average dwelling price rose 0.3% in April. If you include the regions, that jumps to about 0.6%. Across the country, prices are up about 16.7% over the last year. Just quickly back to the capital cities, the average price is now about 21% higher than the previous record in September 2017, but certainly not all cities are the same. Brisbane and Adelaide are flying, Sydney, Melbourne and even Hobart are now going backwards. Perth and Darwin are picking up a bit.
All right, story number 5, and we've saved a cracker for last. The inquiry into whether the Star is suitable to hold a gaming licence in New South Wales has heard at last from former CEO Matt Beckier.
Yes, he appeared late in the day yesterday. It was his first appearance, and he said the company's broader business had a very good culture, but the VIP business was a dark art with a dated subculture that led to many of the problems at the group. Mr. Beckier said the VIP business had accepted a very different standard of behaviour from guests and staff and needed a clean-out. Mr. Beckier added he didn't think the board could have known about the misconduct going on. He also said disguising almost $1 billion in gambling transactions on credit cards was a sharp practice and not right. Now, in his opening statement, Mr. Beckier did a mea culpa, but then he went on to say he felt let down by the company's chief legal and risk officer, the company's chief casino officer, and the general counsel.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 3rd of May, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, if you want a bit more info, a bit more detail, and a few interviews as well, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.